NBA. On 2K Sports. This is Kevin Harlan alongside Clark Kellogg and Greg Anthony. The fans here in Philadelphia ready to cheer on their 76ers in this interconference matchup. This their first chance to take a look at the Timberwolves this season. In the two meetings last year, they came away with wins, never losing.
An interconference matchup, they faced these guys twice a season, and last year they took both games.
Two teams in the bottom of the East and West, as you said, these regular season victories count for more. Both hungry for a win tonight.
All fueled up and ready to go. Brought to you by Gatorade. Let's check out who's on the floor. So on the floor for Minnesota, Chandler Parsons out there with LaMarcus Aldridge. Then it's Terrence Ross. Then there's Tyreke Evans. And it's Biyombo at the pivot spot manning the middle. And for LaMarcus Aldridge, always praised for his terrific shooting, his rebounding, as we know, Greg, has always been fantastic. Over the past two seasons, he's averaged double-digit boards.
And that's why so many teams wanted him in this last free agency period. His ability to put points on the board as well as clean the boards. What a deadly combination.
Now here's Ross. And they get some nice contributions from him on a nightly basis as he averages over 11 points a game. Here's Biyombo. And they're going to count the bucket and send him to the line. It could be a three-point play. And guys, Bismack Biyombo, he got into a groove at the end of last season. After Al Jefferson went down, remember the month of April, he averaged nearly 9 rebounds a game, 2.5 blocks. He was all over the floor.
Yeah, and that's Bismack. I mean, he's that guy. He cleans the glass for you, intimidates shooters in the lane. He's not all the way consistent yet, but he's shown steady improvement.
And now the 76ers on the break. Matthews leading the charge. Here's Evans. Oh, and he can't cap off the break. Bledsoe with it. Evans picks him up. McCollum kicks to Bosh. And he goes strong with the one-handed jam.
Elevates and powers in the one-handed.
Textbook.
Yeah, and I'm glad, guys, he doesn't go overboard on that one and get a little too fancy.
Now here's Evans. And then Biyombo with the dunk.
And very little fight put up by the defense as he made his way to the bucket for the jam.
They did seem to take the cautious approach, Greg, when it came to defending that one. You're right.
And, guys, it's not the time for caution now. I mean, they've got to be aggressive and take some risk to see if they can cut that lead down. Tell you what, he can do a lot more damage to that rim than that when he wants to.
And, you know, Clark, with the lead they're enjoying, I'm surprised he didn't put a little something extra on that one.
Me too.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm glad he didn't, because otherwise we'd probably have a 45-minute delay here if he shattered the backboard.
Over in the corner, Matthews. He's now 1 for 2 with that bucket. Timberwolves leading by 4. To the middle. Parsons attacking. And it falls over the rim and in. Aldridge has got his first points in this one.
Make it 10 of their last 12 points coming off assists.
You have to love the ball movement. And that assist got him a little nod from his teammate after that one. And guys, this 76ers team still trying to forge an identity. One thing that is sure, they will attack the basket, and a lot of fearless players on this roster.
Here's Bosh, and he jams it with authority.
And that kind of defense ain't gonna get it done.
Gee, we don't see those kinds of dunks out of him all the time, but we know he's got it in him.
There's no doubt about that, fellas. I mean, the more finishes like that he gets, the more his confidence will grow.
Well, the 76ers do go at the basket without hesitation. They're fearless, Clark, going inside. Led the NBA last season on points off drive.
Well, you know, I like to say you've got to use what you have. They didn't have many shooters, so that means head down and get to the rim.
And a closer look here at the scoring breakdown for the Timberwolves.
You know, guys, we've really seen them do a lot of damage in the paint so far.
And also another aspect of their game that's been super so far tonight is how they've been sharing the basketball.
Catching up on the changes for Philadelphia. Tristan Thompson, he's checked in for Gobert. Sanders comes in for Chris Bosh. Powell, he's checked in for C.J. McCollum. And it's Matthew Dellavedova in for Eric Bledsoe. The 76ers shooting their third and fourth free throw shots of the night.
And as a team, really just middle of the pack in terms of their percentage from the line at about 76.
And, guys, those numbers represent a nice step up from what they were last year.
And a lot of teams in the West can at least get a little bit of a breather when they go against the Eastern teams. The Wolves didn't have that last year. They got pummeled by the entire conference.
Make it two hands for safety. That's what they say, right, Kevin?
Yeah, that's right. You got that dunk.
No reason not to be.
They got that attack.
Dellavedova.
Clearly a foul.
Yeah, he took a shot there. Earned those free throws.
Free throw. Minnesota in the lead. Here's Clarkson. He gives a bit of a scoring lift to the team, averaging 8 points a game. Puts up the baby hook. And the rejection by Sanders. There's 25 seconds left in the first quarter of the game. Matthews, no one around him. And the go-ahead bucket, no good. Now, here's Clarkson. He's guarded closely. The shot by Chandler, wide open. Drains the 19-footer. Out of bounds, Minnesota takes possession.
No clue where that pass was going. That is a brutal turnover.
Both teams trading buckets as we end the first quarter. The Timberwolves on top. They lead by 3. Stay with us as we get set to bring you the second quarter right after this. And off we go. A close game now starting the second quarter. And before we move on, what do you guys think about what we've seen so far from the Timberwolves?
You always like it when your team doesn't settle for outside shots, and that's been the case here early on.
Yeah, I agree with you. They've done a nice job, Greg, working it low and not taking the easy way out on offense, keeping that pressure on the defense by going inside.
We've got Jared Dudley. Rudy Gobert is out there with Chris Bosh. Then there's McCollum. And it's Bledsoe in at the one spot. That's the group for Philadelphia to start the second quarter.
One thing about Eric Bledsoe, he made it clear he wanted to be paid like an upper-tier player. And that led to quite a negotiation between he and the Suns last year. Ultimately, the two sides agreed to a 5-year, $70 million deal.
Passes it to Parsons. No good on the triple.
Boy, they're fortunate. The defense was taking a big chance leaving him that wide open behind the arc.
No good from Bosh.
That's the kind of D you need when he's got the ball near the hoop. They were all over him.
Some changes for Minnesota. Wilson Chandler's checked in for Chandler Parsons. Gerald Green comes in for Ross. And it's Clarkson in for Tyreek Evans. They get it back. Here's Biyombo.
And the defense out of position on that possession, which allowed for him to get that offensive board.
Well said. Yes, he did. You're right, Greg. That's a tremendous jam on the putback.
What a great nose for the basketball he has, and such a strong finisher as well.
Talking about Eric Bledsoe's contract, many insiders felt like it was too much for a sporadic talent. We knew that he was the good backup in Los Angeles with the Clippers and going to Phoenix in a more prominent role. You know, but he went on to have a dynamic season, proving that, you know, Greg, and you know this position so well, he has the ability to be one of the best league's combo guards, I think.
I agree. I mean, consistency will tell the tale when it comes to Bledsoe. I mean, the rebounds and assists. The averages were up last year, but his shooting percentages were down. So is Bledsoe a near max level player? Only time will tell.
Matthews, he's checked in for Philadelphia. Biombo, no luck.
Just tentative in the paint, lacking a little bit of confidence, allowed the defender to recover and contest that shot.
Matthews dishes the Bosh. And he goes up strong with one hand and flushes it down.
And that's how it's done. I mean, find that hole in the D and then go hard to the rack.
Maybe that hole was a little bigger than it should have been.
Well, it was. I mean, a tight game like this one, you'd think they'd have a little more energy at the defensive end than that.